When do you want me to bring them out?
I'm gonna go
Okay.
back.
Okay. I think we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know you're here.
Okay.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
You do your stuff, and then you're done with your stuff.
I have on my phone with the 15%, so I hope it's
under 3 minutes. We want to hear from as many people as possible. Please keep your comments respectful, clean, and on topic. If you're disruptive or use offensive language, we may ask you to leave. If you are a written comment, please use time. You can give it to myself or Desiree, the one of our own shirt, and you can take it for you. If you decide you want to speak, but you decide not that, you can sign us and sign us as well. Without further ado, I'd like to bring up the Attorney General.
Good evening, Arizona. Thank you so much for being here. We're overwhelmed by this turnout. We appreciate you so much. I am your Attorney General, Kris. I want to thank you for being here tonight, and especially our Attorneys General who traveled to be here with us for our very first in-person AG Community Impact Hearing. We will be holding more of these hearings throughout the country to talk about and to gather information about the federal firings and the DOGE cuts that are harming people and communities across our country. So please help me give a warm welcome again to Arizona to Mexico AG Raúl Torres. Oregon Attorney General Rayfield. And Minnesota AG Ellison. So listen, before we start that we as attorney generals have taken, and that is okay. In a democracy, it is okay to have opposing views, but there are also a lot of people here tonight who have lost their jobs or who had to lay off their employees and they are in crisis mode. So I want to ask that everyone please remain respectful tonight. We can share our viewpoints, obviously, without tearing each other down. The stakes for many people in this room are deeply personal. This is not just a policy debate. It is their livelihoods, their families, and their futures. So let's approach this conversation, I know, Ellison as well, with respect and with empathy and shared commitment to hearing each other out. Over the past several weeks, my office, along with attorneys general across the country, have filed a series of lawsuits against the Trump administration, not because we don't think that reform or efficiency are needed in federal government. I don't think there's a single American in this country who thinks the federal government is working exactly the way it should. But reform should be done lawfully. Through the constitutional processes that exist for that very purpose, not through unilateral decisions that upend the livelihoods of hardworking Americans, throw entire communities into chaos, or violate the privacy of American citizens. The Constitution provides clear avenues for reforming the federal government. Congress, with the people's representatives, is empowered to oversee and shape the federal agencies that serve this country. Changes to federal programs and funding must be made through the legislative process or other lawful means. Not by executive overreach or backdoor maneuvers that disregard the rule of law. The lawsuits that we have filed aren't about resisting change, they are about ensuring that change happens the right way. Through legal and democratic processes, not through reckless unilateral actions that destroy the livelihoods of public servants and Americans with cruelty and chaos. And let us be clear, chaos is not efficient. Slashing jobs, cutting essential services, and leaving communities scrambling to pick up the pieces is not efficiency, it is destruction. True efficiency comes from careful planning, collaboration, and respect for the law, not from haphazard cuts that abruptly destroy lives. Listen, heartbreaking emails and phone calls have been pouring in my office over the past month. The impacts to our entire state, and especially rural Arizona, are astounding. As some of you know, I am from rural Arizona. We are here to listen to those stories tonight. Connect the dots on how our communities are being impacted by these cuts and firings, and to hear how attorneys general like us are fighting to protect folks by fighting back against the chaos in our force. It is important to understand that more than 70% of the county health department's funding in Arizona comes from federal dollars, and local businesses like Cozy Home and Flagstaff are having to lay off employees because the federal IRA funds are being withheld from our state's energy efficiency program, funds that would help a large number of lower-income Arizonans who are already facing high energy bills and to make their homes more energy efficient. Not to mention, it would help with utility bills in a state that has seen a massive increase in heat-related deaths over the past decade. We are fighting because it matters to workers, to families, to businesses and nonprofits, and to the future of our state and our country. serve. And that is why we're doing what we're doing. And I want to add, it also falls to all of you. And each and every one of you who is here tonight is a patriot. And I truly believe that once in a generation, Americans are called upon to sacrifice and to fight for our country, and to fight for our future and the future of our kids. And that's what you are doing, and that's what your Attorney General are doing. Let's get started with this about you guys tonight. I want to introduce my colleagues to give their opening remarks. Please welcome first New Mexico Attorney General Raúl Torres.
So I really want to just start by thanking your Attorney General for all of her leadership, all of her incredible hard work, and her commitment to you, to the state of Arizona, to this country. And, you know, I know there are a lot of complicated legal questions that are likely to arise. There are a lot of nuances that are built into the legal arguments that we presented, but I think it's important to offer our perspectives. To give you a sense of my motivation and my understanding of how this is impacting lives and how it's impacting communities. I am the son of two very proud persons. My mom is a very school teacher. And my father was one of the longest serving federal prosecutors in the state. And one of my earliest memories as a child was waking up in the middle of the night, hearing something in the kitchen and the house was dark. And I remember going into the kitchen as a child, and there was only one light in that house, and it was the light on the kitchen table. It was my dad. And he was preparing for trial. Didn't understand what that meant. I didn't really understand what the word was. And it wasn't until many years later that I followed in his footsteps as a prosecutor, that I had some sense of the obligation and some sense of why someone would choose to commit themselves to others. And I hold that memory in my heart. I think about it every single day, because what I hear in Washington, D.C. from the president and from Elon Musk and from others is a language that is stripped of any humanity. And stripped of any understanding of what truly makes America great. I was raised in Catholic faith, but my civic faith is tied to my father's service to this country and to one of the things that he made a point to do when he took me as a child to Washington, D.C. He took me to see the Supreme Court. When he showed me the description of the justice of the law, he took me to the waiting room. And he stood with me, and he and I read those words together. And I still believe that the core of what makes America great is our commitment to preserving a country and a government that is built and driven of the people, by the people, for the people. What also makes this country great is the notion that we go about our work trying to find better agents of our nature, and that we do so with malice towards none, and with charity for all. It is generosity father committed his entire life to doing service of others. He is not a sucker. He is not a fool. His service to his fellow men and to his country is profoundly meaningful. He was raised in a generation that was specifically called by their president to ask not what their country could do for them, but what they could do for their country. And when he went to work every single day trying to help people, to try and protect people, to try and lift people up and find justice in our courtrooms, he didn't ask anybody if they were Republican. He didn't ask anybody if they were Democrat. He was an American serving others. That's what he is not alone in that. People that spend their lives trying to study diseases or look for cures for cancer or provide some pathway for veterans trying to recover. These are public servants. We don't ask them if they're Republicans or Democrats. We don't demean what they do. We don't degrade who they are. We respect the service. We respect the commitment, the shared commitment that we all have to one another. And look, I understand as the Attorney General referenced that not everyone agrees with the actions that I've taken. And as a former federal prosecutor and a federal employee, I can tell you I have been in so many meetings that I wish I could have a greater voice on the impact of the dollar spent or the efficacy of a policy decision or making government effective and smart and impactful. But you don't do that through chaos and disorder. You don't do that with mindless destruction of federal agencies. You don't do that by disrespecting and demonizing America's public servants. You just don't do that. Remember that these are our friends, these are our neighbors, these are our fellow Americans. They have children, they have families, they do honorable work, and they deserve our gratitude. And if you want to make America great, and you want to make government work, you do it by following the law, by respecting the law. And I really saw what makes this country truly exceptional. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for being here today. My name is Dan Rayfield, and I am from the state of Oregon. Let's go to the Big Ten, sir. That's a different hearing. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you did this. Last night, as I came from Oregon, I was, not University of Oregon, but I was sitting in the airport, was incredibly important to me, was put my phone on and try and listen into what happened last night, sitting in the airport. And I sat there and I listened. State of confusion is right. As I sat there listening, there was one thing that was absolutely missing from the president's comments last night. And that was the impact of the decisions that he and his administration are making, that are having on all our communities across this country. And that's why I found it incredibly important that as a team of Democratic attorneys general, we are going around this country to listen to you, because the president is unwilling to listen to you and how these things are impacting our communities, our public services, the public safety. We will do it for him, and we will travel this country to be able to listen to you, and that's why I'm so important. Incredibly thankful for all of you to come out of your day So as we dive into this important discussion, I want to take a moment to emphasize something that is absolutely central to this issue. The President does not have unilateral power to simply disregard Congress's decisions, to dismantle services and parts of our government. The Constitution is clear. When Congress allocates money to the federal government, the new administration cannot prevent the money from being used for a stated purpose. In other words, while the President may be a powerful person, he does not have some sort of superpower that lets him travel back in time to veto the decisions that have already been approved. And that's the whole point here. The President had worked with Congress to make budget cuts through legal legislative process we wouldn't need today. But that's not what's happening. These moves by the administration are as legal as they are reckless. And as attorneys general, it is our duty to make sure that the law is followed, and that our system of checks and balances is respected, and that public servants are not unjustly removed from their positions because of political interests. Across this country, from Oregon to Arizona to New York, over the past month, we have witnessed a disturbing pattern of federal workers being fired, pushed out, or silenced. Our office in Oregon has been inundated with calls and emails from people affected by these unprecedented and unlawful terminations. And I'm talking about people who work in our national force, the Department of Veteran Affairs, workers at our Bonneville Power Administration and the IRS. All let go with no notice, and in many cases, decades of public service. The stories we're hearing in Oregon are heartbreaking. One email we received from a worker in the Portland IRS office when he lost his job. When right around Thanksgiving, he learned of the stage 3 cancer he returned. Then just 1 week after President Trump's inauguration, on January 26th, he received his fork-in-the-road letter that essentially said he resigned or risk being downsized, that's right, downsized, out of a job. He chose to continue working and underwent cancer surgery on February 3rd. 2 weeks later, while still recovering from his life-saving procedure, he was fired. What happened is careless, it's inhumane, and as he said to us, to tell devoted civil servants without any proof that their performance is inadequate is an injustice and it is illegal. Another person in contact is working at the U.S. Geological Survey in Eugene, Oregon. I'm sorry, we're getting back to this. She joined the USGS after entering earning a master's degree in years of service in the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps. She was working on efforts to improve communication in the aftermath of earthquakes, and also assisting scientists researching bird flu, among other things. This job gave her a chance to continue a life of public service. It also gave her the opportunity to purchase her first home. But she had to back out of escrow on February 14th, when she was fired through some boilerplate letter received by thousands of federal employees. And she later lost a home, and we lost a dedicated public servant. These are just two of the countless stories, I imagine many stories we will hear tonight, that we've heard in the past few weeks. And what's behind this massive federal firings, a new federal department created without congressional approval, and with apparently absolutely no oversight, no transparency, and no accountability, which is again what we're hearing tonight. All was seen by President Ellison, who's operating without any official government title. We have a system in place for 220 years that rely on checks and balances based on the principle that no branch of government is too powerful. Trump and Musk are trying to sidestep that and grant the executive branch unlimited power. They're taking money in Congress that has been approved for schools, medical research, for emergency assistance, public safety, and urban construction projects, and they're wiping out schools. Thank you again for being here tonight. I'm proud to be your representative of
How you doing, Arizona? A lot of Arizonans, Americans here tonight because you care so much about our great country. You may be wondering why would somebody with an attorney general from Oregon, New Mexico, or Minnesota get on an airplane, come all the way here to be with you tonight, and the real reason is all of our first days. We're all experiencing the same thing you are experiencing. And tonight is your night. We want to hear from you. I want to say there's a quote from a guy named Abraham. I don't know if you've ever heard of this dude. But Abraham Lincoln said, in this age, in this country, public sentiment is everything. With it, nothing can fail. Against it, nothing can succeed. Whoever knows public sentiment goes deeper than he who enacts statutes or pronounces judicial decisions. We believe that the public doesn't like a lot of things that happen in Washington. And we believe that if you have a chance to tell your truth, to listen to your neighbors, you just might get up there on that microphone and tell your own story. You just might, get out there and reach out to somebody who lives in your village, who lives on your block. That is so critically important. There's an African proverb that says, when a strong person walks in the room, all backs straighten. You know what it means? It means that we all get courage from each other. We all get who here is really learns about some of the stuff that is happening. So it's good for us to be together. It's good for us to hear from each other. And it's good for us to know that we all are committed to making sure that we are a nation of laws and not men, and that we are a nation that this country's promise is delivered on through a democratic electoral process, not just some guy who issues executive orders as he feels like it on one given day. Right now, we have filed a bunch of lawsuits. We froze the phrase. We're saying that the appointments clause of the Constitution is being violated by having this unelected oligarch just rummaging through our government. We can't file lawsuits because we haven't lost yet, folks. Saving America will not be won in a courtroom. It will be won in the court of public opinion. It will be won by you. Let's have a good night.
Let's get it started. We're going to start, I'm going to call 3 people up at a time. And so we're going to have the microphone. So we're going to start with Kristen Frey. So Kristen, could you come on?
Cameron Potter is in here, and you want to come up to the grade. revolutionary groups were unable to meet staffing ratios in the community living center and was unable to provide programming as required by Medicare guidelines. Couple examples. One staff member was removed from a position with homebound veterans. One staff member was removed from a national position with wheelchair aids. Inpatient recreational therapy programming has been reduced. How can music therapy in the infusion clinic with veterans who have cancer has been canceled? A virtual music therapy group, something that started to address the needs of homebound veterans, that has been canceled. A number of other programming has been canceled as well on a bunch of basis. Hopefully it will return like therapeutic guitar, music ensemble, and other programs. In total, last week, 84 veterans did not get to go to their music or recreation. 84. These senseless acts are hurting local people. It's shameful that we aren't supporting women and men volunteering to serve the military, and it's shameful that they're not providing their deserve. Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much, Kris, and this was incredibly impactful. Next up, we have Karen Potter from Sweet. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for being here tonight. My name is Karen Potter. I'm a proud Arizona native, and a mom, and a wife of a dedicated firefighter. I'm also served currently as the Arizona representative for the Southwest Energy Efficiency Project, or SWEEP, a nonprofit dedicated to helping everyday Arizona save money on their utility bills while building a stronger state economy through the hard work of energy efficiency. So tonight, I'm here to talk about why that matters and why the devastating impact of these federal freezes is already having customers every day. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, Arizonans have watched their cost of living skyrocket, especially their utility bills. So maybe just for a moment, let's just do a very short poll. Raise your hand if you feel like your energy bills have gone up in the last 5 years. I think that speaks for itself. So one of the most effective ways we can ease this burden is through energy efficiency. It is more than just a cost-saving measure. It is a powerful tool for improving our daily lives. It means using less energy to achieve the same results, whether it's keeping our home school, cooking meals, or powering essential devices. By making our homes more energy efficient, families can cut their utility bills, reduce pollution, and enjoy safer, more comfortable living conditions. But the benefits go beyond individual households, as energy efficiency will lead to a cleaner air, a stronger power grid, and a more resilient future for all. But despite all these benefits, and despite of the clear, data-driven history of energy efficiency since the 1970s, the freezes are having a devastating impact, and many programs in the Inflation Reduction Act and the bipartisan infrastructure law are now currently being on hold until further notice. So these funding freezes are creating barriers for advancing vital programs that help homeowners and communities adopt energy efficient technologies. For many, these programs are key to reducing energy costs and improving their home comfort. The delay in funding has led to missed opportunities to weatherize homes, install energy-saving appliances, and upgrade heating and cooling systems. So, thanks to what the Inflation Reduction Act made available for tax credits, already more than 46,000 Arizona households have been able to improve the value of their home by adding insulation, repairing ducts, inductive air sealing, replacing outdated windows, and installing electric heat pumps. However, if these freezes continue, homeowners will have less opportunities to increase the value of their homes while contributing to the local economy. So let's talk about the economy next. Small contracting businesses were set to have a major boom from these programs, with the energy efficiency industry already rising to more than 40,000 strong across the state of Arizona. However, these jobs, I'll just say, these jobs do not require a college degree, and they allow people to support their families without a four-year university education, of which there are very few opportunities like that today. So without these resources, more and more contractors continue to lose their jobs, and unfortunately, many in Arizona already have. Even though they have participated and were hired to do these jobs, specifically for these programs. Unfortunately, they're out of luck. And since the 1970s, the Arizona Weatherization Assistance Program has helped more than 20,000 income-eligible households weatherize their homes and make their homes more safe and secure. And thanks to bipartisan infrastructure law, weatherization has been extended, and since 2022, thousands of homes have been able to weatherize their homes, making them healthy, secure, and more energy efficient. So, if these streets continue, more than 800 households this year will be less vulnerable to indoor heat-related illness and even heat-related death due to lack of hot cooling equipment in their home. Weatherization contractors and practitioners were ready to help these families prepare for Arizona's extreme summer heat, but now that critical work, as we're fast approaching the hot summer months, is on hold until further notice. So I will just say, in a state where overnight temperatures are remaining above 100 degrees, air conditioning is not a luxury, it is a human right, and it is a lifeline. We are so grateful for all your support and listening to the story today. So we believe now is the time to act. We must restore and expand these resources and ensure that every Arizonan, no matter their income and no matter where they live, has access to benefits of life-saving programs. Thank you for your time. Good evening, my name is Amy Carr. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the director for the Sierra Club Student Union chapter, which is the Arizona chapter. I've lived in Arizona most of my life. I love Arizona. I love the land. I love the people. I wanted to thank you all for being here for Arizonans, and for people across the United States, and for pushing back on this harmful agenda that has resulted in the thoughtless firing of thousands of people, including those who care for our public lands. And I want to really focus in on this because Arizona is really blessed. We have 28 million acres of public lands in our state. 3 national parks, Grand Canyon, Saguaro, and Torres, as well as places like the Superstition Wilderness that's part of the Tonto National Forest, Sonoran Desert National Monument that has 0 land management lands. These places provide extensive opportunities for recreation. They provide key wildlife habitat and corridors and habitat for plants, and some of these are found no place else on the planet. Public lands provide us with clean water and clean air. And Arizonans love and enjoy our public lands. And I also want to recognize these lands, recognize that they're all indigenous lands. And these lands are under threat due to actions by the Trump administration, including the firing of thousands of public lands workers who care for public lands and the people who visit them. At Grand Canyon, which is one of 22 national park communities we have in Arizona, it's been reported already that the lines are double the wait times that they should be at this time of year. And we know that there have been more than 1,000 National Park Service employees that have been fired without cause, really. And down south at Saguaro National Park, they are closing the visitor center on certain days, and that means people don't have access to important information that can help them enjoy the lands, but also be safer on the public lands. And that's another thing I want to mention provide important services. That also means fewer people out there protecting cultural and natural resources. And we saw some of those suffer during COVID when there were fewer people available to help out with that. I want to mention another only one that was our public lands. There was a recent poll that found that Arizona's unanimously view national parks and natural beauty as essential to our state's identity and their They also agree that the government has a responsibility to protect public land, that indigenous tribes should play a role in protecting and managing ancestral land. Yes. And guaranteeing outdoor recreation. So protection of these lands is important culturally and recreationally and ecologically, but it's also really important economically. And I wanted to add that as well. They're not, these actions that are being taken by this administration are not just unwise relative to our enjoyment and access to the land. They harm our economy. That's right. Outdoor recreation generates billions of dollars for the Arizona economy. And in 2023, there were 4.7 million visitors to Grand Canyon National Park alone. They spent $768 million in nearby communities that supported more than 10,000 jobs and $350 million in labor income and about $1 billion in economic output. Thank you for being strong, for supporting the lands, for supporting the people, and also for supporting the laws that are supposed to protect both.
Hi everyone, my name is today, and I'm the CEO of Arizona Community Care, the largest formal events in Southwest for HIV AIDS. And I want to start off by saying that as a queer person, HIV and STIs are not limited to my community. Amen. Right? And I think it's a crazy assumption that 75% of the room probably is. Which means, yes, which means everyone in this room on some level, your communities or you are at risk for HIV and STIs. When the government grows funding, the funding that is provided to us through these grants allow us to build the largest free HIV and STI tester in America County. Because if you want to come to us, how that county is to the respective county. And we also do treatment and prevention on site. We provide vital, necessary primary health care, mental health care. We provide case management and nutrition for low-income individuals living with HIV. All of these things are at risk because we were told that we were focusing on DEI and gender ideology. So, in order to serve our clients, our community, not all of them are queer, we were told that we had to take the very fabric of who we are out of our language. The grants were written were specific for these communities to ensure that they could be protected so that all communities are protected. What you have done is allow us to continue our work. 21% of my funding comes from federal grants. It covers 40% of my staff. I've already had to lay off 3 individuals that were vital to our operations. So what I need to ask is that you continue the fight and then recognize our community needs you more than ever. Thank you.
Next up, we have
Good evening. I'm speaking to you tonight as a physician who has dedicated my life and career to caring for patients seeking sexual and reproductive health care. I'm experienced as an obstetrician gynecologist and I'm doubly board certified in obstetrician gynecology and complex planning. In addition to delivering babies and performing gynecologic surgery, I performed abortions lose trust in the medical system. Since the election, I have heard patient after patient express fear that they will not be able to access care that they know to be critical to their current and future well-being. I took care of a patient last week who was crying and panicked about her access to contraception. She wasn't a candidate for the longest acting universal contraceptive device we had before their IUD, and she had to settle for a 5-year implant. She asked me, what am I going to do in 5 years? Will I even be allowed to have birth control? Will I even be able to afford it? Especially for my transgender patients trying to access gender-affirming care. The threat is in the room, but the reality is already here. In droves, patients are submitting paperwork to ensure their gender or change requests are processed before that option disappears. Patients are taking stockpile medications knowing they may no longer be available. I've been receiving requests from patients previously receiving therapies to the hospital, which is altered gender-affirming care and under recent EO, begging to be seen. The fact that these bullying actions of the government are targeting the already most marginalized communities should infuriate us all. Clinical decision-making belongs to the clinician and the patient. And the deterrent effect they pose is also particularly heartbreaking. Patients will not seek care when they fear that their health and personal data may be accessed by those who are seeking to deport them. I'm thinking of an immigrant patient in South America, a person who is a mom trying to take care of her children, who was violated multiple times, making her way to the United States. She needed an abortion as a result of her race. Everyone deserves dignified health care and to live with dignity. I, like so many other physicians, have worked my entire adult life reading, studying, analyzing, doing direct training to be equipped with the immense privilege of providing health care. Imagine my sister and I, along with so many colleagues, was forced to hastily download clinical guidelines and literature from the CDC website before these trusted resources were removed. These are guidelines that help physicians navigate different medical conditions that find the most appropriate birth control method. These guidelines are by treating moleculars for STIs. How are little facts being canceled? Why is evidence-based literature being censored? What a disgrace to have the knowledge and the training and the skills to improve the health and lives of our communities and to not be able to do so with the direction of politicians. The medical community does not tolerate the unacceptable interference. Our patients' lives depend on our resistance.
Martin Luther King said, of all of the forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and inhumane. From age day 1 to age 100, and 1/3 of my patients are covered by Medicaid through all access here in Arizona. Losing coverage in many Arizona state less well, less healthy, or rural and safety net hospitals are risk, like Attorney General said earlier. I can tell you dozens of stories, but I'm just going to choose 2. Tell you a story. Last week, I heard from one of my patients, Mrs. D, who takes care of her husband, Mr. D, who's debilitated from a stroke. He's also my patient. I shared this story with her permission. Mrs. D has breast cancer, which has metastasized to her bones. It's still treatable, but recently she had told me that she lost her access insurance, and they'll have to put her
cancer treatment on hold. Obviously, that adds to her stress to deal with all the insurance issues. And so how many similar stories would be like healthcare for more people? And now I'll tell you a success story. Last week I saw a newborn baby, 3 days old, with her mom and dad who were both first time. The baby was having trouble gaining weight in the first few days, and I was worried. So I talked to mom and dad, and we came up with a plan, including following up in 2 days. And they came back later, they didn't gain weight. She did great. The parents were absolutely beaming. But I wondered what would happen if we didn't have insurance coverage to be seen by a family physician for a time in your life. So I really appreciate you being here, listening to these stories, putting names and faces and voices to all these amazing people that are here to call attention to the unjust and inhumane action and changes that will strip away healthcare from people that need it most.
Next up, we have Mike Robert, Superintendent for Osborne School District, Violetta Ramos, and Felipe Carranza, both from the Osborne School District.
Good evening, I'm Michael Rivera, Superintendent of the Osborne School District, one of the elementary feeder school districts in the Phoenix Union, and you guys are all seated right now within the Osborne School District. I'm also here to talk about the Teacher and School Leader Incentive Program, which is something that we're involved in, and we were involved in until a couple weeks ago. The goal of this grant was clear: to ensure that every student, regardless of their background or zip code, had access to excellent education. For us in Osborne, it means something profound, putting our students first. One of the key elements of this grant is the role of master teachers. Instructional coaches who work with teachers provide weekly professional development, classroom observations, and provide critical feedback. These coaches are instrumental in helping our teachers find skills, especially our newer teachers, and to build test research-based instructional strategies rolled out across the entire campus. Additionally, mentor teachers lead grade-level teams and help their peers through coaching, fostering collaboration, and the sharing of best practices. Our school had this grant given about $3 million over 3 years, so $1 million annually for this grant. These funds help support salaries, benefits, additional duties for teachers, and leadership coaching. And a large portion of the funding, almost $500,000, goes towards performance-based compensation, which is tied to teacher performance, student success. Another portion of the project supports professional development and additional support for our educators. However, on February 18th, we received troubling news that the Department of Education issued a cancellation notice for our grant, effective immediately, citing diversity, equity, and inclusion. The letter claimed that our grant, which is a component of the Teachers and Student Leaders Grant, was inconsistent with the federal priorities around DEI. What's concerning is that there was no specific mention or evidence in the letter as to how our grant promoted DEI over merit. The focus of this grant has always been on excellence in education, performance-based compensation, student achievement. As a result of this cancellation, Osborne is now facing significant loss. $500 million, I mentioned, goes towards performance-based compensation. We've been working 2/3 of this year. The work's done, but the compensation's not going to be there. There's also $250,000 in salaries. I've heard that still to be paid between now and June 30th. And we've heard stories from people here. We're going to hear more stories tonight about people that have lost their jobs. I'm proud to say that Osborne is going to honor our contracts through June 30th at the end of the school year. That's $4 million that we did not have budgeted. We'll pull it out of reserves. And I'm proud of my CFO for her great leadership and fiscal stewardship, and of my governing board for standing behind me and saying, we're going to just honor these contracts. I also have my board president standing right behind me. I've got a meeting with her tomorrow. We're planning our agenda for March. respected. One of the things I'm going to talk about tomorrow is putting on the agenda for our upcoming March meeting, a reduction in force, a reduction in teachers, in school leaders, in teacher leaders on our campuses. I'm proud of our teachers and I'm deeply saddened by having that conversation. I was just in DC last week to watch one of our school leadership teams presenting nationally to their peers about the excellence we've been able to attain in Osborne. Yet I had some of those same people on a Zoom call with me yesterday tell them about this and hear it. It breaks my heart for our community. Osborne School District is, you know, I've got 7 school leaders, about 150 teachers, about 2,500 students that are counting on this. I use that time in DC to reach out and visit representatives, senators across the aisle, both chambers, both sides of the aisle, to remind them that their authority is being usurped. They allocate these funds, and you guys are standing up for a process. Please continue to do that. I'm very good to give voice to this, but that's just not enough. I'm also seeking a reversal of improper cancellation. Directly on the families and on our kids. So thank you guys for being in support of the community.
Hi everyone, my name is Raúl, and I'm Raúl, part of the public education system. I am board president of the Ellison School District, and I have 2 other board members who are standing behind me. We are in board and we all agree. We have 2 other teachers going to be here. We're all here because we want to represent our teachers and what we are doing in our community. So as elected officials, we are elected by our community to serve them, and unfortunately, we said just us, because we are now breaking that promise that we made to our community. That promise that we are breaking affects everyone in our community, our teachers, that the parents that trust us, but most importantly, the students who are our future. It isn't fair that this power grab system will be using the keywords to cut out awareness, that will be leading important members of our community that help us grow without the stability of a position. As you mentioned earlier, things need to be done in a way. Important counseling are important. Thank you for listening to us and advocating and fighting so that as board members here, we can keep our promises to our community.
Good evening. I'm here to share how several job costs are not just numbers on a spreadsheet. They are real people, real families, and real consequences. In June, I will lose my job. I am fortunate that the district, Osborne School District, will continue on my contract until then. As a father of the 3-year-old, this is just about my career. It's about my child's well-being right now. I'm struggling to keep up with the $800 a month tuition for a preschool that ensures that she has a safe and stable learning environment. Without my job, I don't know how I will afford to keep her in preschool. She is a preschool she doesn't have. I have dedicated my career to education. That is 25 years of my life. My aim as a teacher, as a principal, and as a director has always been to support students and to strengthen our communities. But now I find myself facing uncertainties, wondering how I provide for my own family. The stress of this situation isn't just financial, it's emotional too. It's the fear of not knowing what comes next, or having to make an impossible choice between my daughter's education and basic needs. And don't get me started on immigration. As the proud son of immigrant parents, my parents fled their home not because they wanted to, but because, as my mom says, we were mice living in the mouth of a serpent. I echo what you're hearing tonight. Families across Arizona and across the country are being forced into instability because of these job cuts and funding increases. The decisions are not abstract policy shifts. They are life-changing disruptions that affect our children's future. I urge you to continue to recognize the human impact that these actions have. Stability for families like mine should not be a luxury. It should be a priority. Thank you for listening.
Next up, we have and Elise Guidas and Adrian Lugarde. So, Liza, there we go. And then Elise.
Good evening. My name is Ellison. I've been a certified marketplace navigator for over 8 years. I serve individuals and families throughout the state of Arizona, apply for Medicaid, SNAP, and marketplace health insurance, which are all federally funded. Some data from 2024. 2 million Arizonans rely on Medicaid ship, with the federal government covering over 80% of 22.2 million that it cost. Almost 340,000 Arizonans were enrolled in marketplace. 90% of whom rely on federal subsidy that helps pay for their premium. Arizona has almost 1.5 million residents who are Medicare beneficiaries, which is a lifetime program for the elderly and people with disabilities. By the way, 46% of births in Arizona were financed by Medicaid. I recently assisted a couple who had been working at labor-intensive low-paying jobs when the wife was diagnosed with lung and uterine cancer. Her husband had to quit his job to care for her. She is in constant pain and has just started chemo and relies on Medicaid to pay for her treatments. She still greets me with the most beautiful smile. Some of the families I serve have special needs children or single parents or are taking care of elderly parents. One of the hardest things to do is to tell the elder that her Social Security income is $20 over the Medicare income limit. Her income barely covers rent, let alone food. So we try to find other resources, but even those are quickly becoming scarce. We've assisted families who sought asylum after helping the U.S. government fight wars in their land. They were interpreters, lawyers, and doctors. It was too dangerous for them to stay in their countries, so we gave them a safe harbor. Federally funded programs gave these individuals and families a chance to rebuild their lives on this continent. Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP are among the social services Congress and DOGE. They want to be able to eat, have a safe place to live, and have access to equitable and affordable health care. These are some of the basic needs that everyone should have, and not just the chosen few. Isn't this what the American dream is all about? AG's Mays, Torres, Ellison, and Rayfield, we, the people of Arizona, ask that you all stop the calculated, cruel, and intentional dismantling of the programs and support and assist the most vulnerable members of our communities. We are here to speak because people have been suffering. People will needlessly die. We need your help.
We offer community-based food solutions in rural, urban, and tribal communities around the state. In the valley, we're most known for our fleet of local produce markets called Farm Express, which provide reliable access to affordable fruits and vegetables at over 35 unique selling locations in the valley each month. Our markets serve more than 12,000 Arizonans a year with healthy produce from farms across Arizona as well as in the surrounding border states and Mexico. I'll briefly share how these reasons have impacted our work from two perspectives, from mine and our partners' ability to operate our businesses and also for our customers' ability to access the foods that they need for themselves and their families. Administratively, several grants that we rely on and plan on for the next year have been terminated, which has caused me to not only change program plans and put critical food initiatives on hold, and eventually obviously layoffs for my organization as funding resource food programs become more and more scarce. A lot of our funding partners are really foundations and are limited, and there's only so few dollars that they have to take on anyway. So our pool of funds is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The food that we sell to the community comes from local food hubs, which aggregate from small-scale farmers throughout Arizona. In the last 12 hours, 2 of our direct suppliers have told me that their businesses will go under if these freezes aren't lifted pretty imminently. If they close, it'll have catastrophic consequences for the 60 or so family farms that they source from, but it's also going to cut off our food supply for local food money entirely for our markets. Of course, the closing of these businesses goes far beyond a few people losing their jobs or a few acres that have food already in the ground going to waste, which in and of itself is terrible. But it can have ripple effects on the countless other businesses and community members, including my own. Farmers make their crop plans in alignment with USDA funds, meaning that there's already food in the ground that would have been paid for using the funding out from the federal government. Without those dollars, farmers are out of the costs associated with planting and growing, and are certainly out of the cost and the sales that they'll get back from the food that they can sell. In our community, our customers are rationing their food dollars and their SNAP benefits for fear that the current administration will cut off their benefits entirely. Regulars of mine have told us that they're too afraid to get the foods that they need and are foregoing basic food staples because their benefits are cut off next month. We're talking about seniors and families already experiencing significant financial barriers and food access issues. Our markets are very affordable and they do offer some relief to our customers, but they're pretty much useless for our customers that can't access them or won't use their benefits to get the foods they need. At sites where we provide access to food for patients enrolled in the diabetes prevention program, we've seen drastic dips in our sales, mostly because those customers are too afraid to come shop with us on the bus. Sometimes clinics after shopping for them and getting food to the families, other times they just completely fall on the radar because of their fear and isolated at any moment. These patients already experience food insecurity and low income and have very few resources outside of our food programs, so their access to our services is going to have detrimental effects to their health and well-being. I am setting order protocols where I'm handing out know your rights cards, but it all feels futile. I can't convince my customers that it's safe to shop when it's not. I've built my program over the last 11 years into a trusted, reliable, and safe source for food. We built lasting relationships with the community, our neighbors, who rely on us to feed their families and give them choices in an already limited food environment. What is happening is heartless and it's cruel and it will have catastrophic consequences for the families that we serve for our organization for years to come. Thank you so much for listening.
These programs that have been most deeply impacted by the federal funding freeze not only exist in Arizona, but in each of your states too. We have about 50% of our federal these programs not only help to generate revenue for farmers, but they also are ensuring that most of the food security get access to those good foods. And so for every month that passes, we are out $500,000 in revenue to our farmers. That is also $500,000 that goes back to community members as well too. I have been building numerous calls from farmers that are operating in the red and they're this close to having to close down their farm businesses. This funding increase not only impacts those that are participating in federal food assistance programs, but all of us, because food is a fundamental human right, and we need to eat every single day to survive. And if we don't have a robust local food system that's here to support us and help us, it impacts us all, and we're all going to be feeling that we will pay for our food and rising food costs, or we are today. So I'm begging you to help keep our food and farm businesses open and alive and growing, so that we can continue to support those like release all of our farmers and all of our businesses here.
And I just ask a follow-up question. So what you and Ellison were saying is, it sounds like USDA is still not sending you the money, so they're pursuing another, it sounds like they are violating the PR1. This is important information. And you had to go back and get court twice, to get what's called a motion to compel. The farmers are still not being.
Correct. I have 4 pages worth of all the programs that I'm not getting here, and if you can read up here, but as effective January 19th, we may not receive any funding and not get any cases to make things that funding back.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Next up, we have Rashad, and then Francisca Gill, and then we're going to open it up.
Good evening, everyone, and the Attorney General and my colleagues and all the citizens here. My name is Raúl. I'm the co-founder and vice president of the community. I came from Tucson to be guest here, and as a former SID holder, I want to make a lot of clear SID is a special economic visa for people who serve with the new starting a city or overseas. I want to speak for community war activists because they support the U.S. and Afghanistan. These individuals put their lives in line for our nation, and now turning our back on them puts them and their families in danger. They are being targeted for their affiliation with the U.S. and we must honor the promise we made to them. As someone that benefited from the settlement agencies when my family and I first arrived in the United States, having federal funds to the settlement agencies toward the SID and refugee living in our communities. These agencies provide essential services like food, housing, medical care, and health, funding, job, and school for their children. Without the support, these families are left in a difficult situation. The funding cuts have shattered the dream of those who fled violence and persecution, trusting in America will offer them safety and fresh start. These refugees have already risked everything to escape danger, and now they are being told that the only hope of surviving in safety in the United States is no longer an option for them. Creating our promises to those who serve with us and those that are in need those who serve with us and keep our word to those that are suffering from the situation. Thank you.
Community Integration Program Manager at Human Social Services in Southwest. Support for refugees, providing essential economic services to help families rebuild their life with dignity. Our Refugee and Immigration Services Program assists those fleeing war, violence, and persecution from countries such as Sudan, Afghanistan, Syria, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, and others. These families arrive in the U.S. after years of suffering, having survived conflict, displacement, and refugee camps, only to now face yet another crisis in Arizona. The recent world order and freeze of foreign aid have created a domestic humanitarian crisis, leaving newly arrived refugees in an alarming state of uncertainty. The executive order and the immediate support for refugee resettlement agencies approach the state of Arizona, cutting off critical reception and placement funding, leaving recent refugee arrivals in the U.S. without the safety net they were promised. 90 days of critical services for their integration and support into self-sufficiency in our state. Now they are facing possible evictions, food insecurity, lack of access of medical care, employment support, and the list goes on. There are 4 resettlement agency offices in Phoenix and 3 in Tucson. We are all being impacted in similar ways, with loss of resources, staff, talent, expertise, and experiences. Our organization is also receiving and a sub-recipient of federal grants through our national partners, Refugee and Yemen. Ellison has still not received payment for services already rendered and under a contract that is supposed to guarantee payment. This is for match rent and for preferred communities, which include medically fragile refugees. We are all $1,513,000 to our national partners. The impact this lack of reimbursement has had cannot be understated. We have to lay off 40 staff members and have to impact negatively our refugee clients in their integration process into self-sufficiency in Arizona. LSS is both contractually and morally obligated to continue supporting these families who have already suffered so much but cannot continue to do so without being paid for services. We have received in this fiscal year 300 arrivals in Phoenix and 148 in Tucson, including children. The total number of arrivals from all resettlement agencies is around 1,072 individuals. Lastly, the reduction in arrivals, many of those were family members traveling to Arizona to join their family members already here. Some long within a day or a few days prior to arrival. This has been heartbreaking for thousands of people, emotionally, and reduces the natural family support system that could have assisted further with integration of family self-sufficient trajectories. This is so inhumane. I'll ask for your support. Thank you. All the resettlement agencies in Arizona are going through this. Whether or not it's going to be fighting with development. Thank you.
Next up, we have Tim Cox, then Brent Fine, and then Paul Russell.
models of federal contractors. We not only investigate compliance with federal contractors' obligations, we investigate discrimination complaints, and we also help federal contractors conduct outreach in order to recruit qualified applicants. This past year, I spent a lot of time with community-based organizations and trade schools trying to pipeline people into CHIPS Act money that was going to happen this year. This is our restructuring plan. The Washington Post recently. OCCP is to be cut by 90%, which will close 50 field offices and eliminate 429 jobs. So I'm currently waiting for witness. And this is from Project 2025, mandate for leadership. This is page 583. This is this document. Nobody needs to know anything about. On day 2 of this administration, a 60-year-old executive order was revoked, signed by Lyndon Johnson. Executive Order 11246, and it's designed to ensure federal contractors do not discriminate and recruit qualified females and minorities. We do enforce 2 statutes for individuals with disabilities and veterans. So my issue is with veterans, but these cuts will most certainly have a ripple effect. Those practitioners of this work for federal contractors will most likely lose their jobs. I've already seen one person that lost their job. Those companies that prop up to maintain legal and consultation help with these federal contractors, these people will go out of business. So there's a lot of ripple effect, thousands of jobs. But most of all, this affects job seekers, it affects employees that work for federal contractors, and 2 of our most vulnerable populations, which are individuals with disabilities and veterans, which I am one. And yes, for those who don't know, OCCP is the only federal agency that takes complaints of discrimination from veterans. And this is reducing our agency down to nothing. Some people may have heard that there's an agency that just reduced down to 1 person with a little appointee today. Senator Kelly wrote a letter to OPM earlier this week, and in his letter he stated that nearly 6,000 veterans have already lost their jobs and been terminated from the medical service at an unprecedented rate, and we will all enter the civilian workforce with less protections. And while this blueprint tries to eliminate OCCP, of course, they're bringing it down to the bottom levels where it's essentially going to be ineffective. So, if all my time is limited, I just wanted to say this. This isn't subjective. This is evidence. This is evidence in less than 2 months. This administration has proved itself to be the most anti-veteran administration.
I worked for Kris 20-some years ago, and one of the projects I worked on was called efficiency review. We were tasked with looking at all the agencies to find where we could save money. But we never went into it thinking we have all these stated objectives in advance. We wanted to find savings. I think we ended up finding about $300 million. But it took us 6 to 9 months to do it. And it was a good process to do it. And then we presented it, and no one ever thought that they were going to do it all by themselves. Resolving it to plan for the budget, make some changes, some things you could do like saving on efficiency on electricity and things like that you could do. But most people live in the head of the legislature to get it done. So this plan is going through right now, Congress, it makes no sense to me, and I don't think it would make sense to anybody.
it's already started that I worked for, when I wasn't working for Kris, I worked for the Department of Labor Bureau of Statistics at the state of Arizona, where we collected employment data. There's already data coming out now showing that consumer confidence is dropping. A Michigan survey came out, and another survey came out. An ADP survey came out today, showed only 75,000 jobs were created in February, and that doesn't affect government, that survey doesn't. So my guess is it'll probably be greater. But not only that, all of these cuts by the organizations are bringing out, they're going to have multiplier effects. Not only the federal ones, but theirs. And so you're going to see not only if they lay off 200,000 people, when they're bringing up that they're going to lay off 80,000 DA people today, I've heard that number, lay off half of IRS. You're going to lose consumer confidence, but it's also going to have this multiplier effect. And sometimes it'll be 3 or 4 times that number. And we could be in a recession in 6 months. Very easily. Because that data, when it comes out Friday on employment, it might show that we lost jobs or, invested in creative. And that will have a cascading effect. So it doesn't take a lot to go into the recession. And then government money will go down. The federal government might be getting rid of IRS or tax. It makes no sense. So none of it makes sense, but I don't know, I think when it finally the economics are fitting everybody, because everybody is going to be affected by this. Not just the people who lose their jobs, the retirees, they're all big, the pension funds, the stock market will start going down. It's not going to be something that just affects a small group of federal workers. Thank you.
Prior, we went to high school together, we were classmates, and I didn't want to get to or say that, that we're here because we love Kris, but I love Kris first. Attorney General, I am Paul Russell, the Vice President of the Board of Governors Nation. Consequences of these federal budget cuts on Indian country, including my own nation. The situation in Indian country is dire. The massive budget cuts and firings implemented by the Trump administration have left us in a state of extreme concern. The impacts of federal government's economies are devastating, with potential consequences including reduced services to tribal members, layoffs of tribal government and enterprise employees, and reduced or eliminated grant funding for key projects. The uncertainty of the future perhaps the most alarming aspect is that we are left questioning how much worse things get in the coming weeks and months. Some real impacts have already been experienced. First, the pause or elimination of the Bureau of Reclamation grant funding prevents 2 major projects at Fort McDowell. Planned improvements to our golf course, a project that supports jobs, tourism, and economic self-sufficiency for the nation. Without these funds, these improvements stall, leading to lost revenue and cut jobs. Critical well rehabilitation at our Fort McDowell tribal farm, which provides revenue for our nation and economic opportunity for our people. Without federal support, we risk losing farmland productivity, which will impact revenue for our community. These cuts stifle our ability to be self-reliant and violate the federal government's trust responsibilities to honor tribal economic development. Second, closing 3 Bureau of Indian offices in Arizona, including Western Region office in Phoenix, will directly harm Fort McDowell. This office supports tribal governance, law enforcement, and land management, key functions that have now been delayed or neglected due to the closure. Our law enforcement and emergency response rely on timely Bureau of Indian Affairs support. With this office closing, public safety in our community is severely at risk. The shutdown also hampers infrastructure projects that require Bureau of Indian Affairs coordination, creating bureaucratic bottlenecks and slowing essential services. These budget cuts not only undermine tribal sovereignty and economic self-sufficiency, but also limit years of hard-earned progress throughout the Indian country. The reversal step backwards instead of forward. On behalf of the Fort Valley Nation, I respectfully and strongly urge you to take a stand against the devastating cuts. We need you to demand that the federal government honor its commitments to Indian country. The future of our tribal communities depends on your actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next up, we have Paula Morel and Clarissa Vela, and then, I think it's Wayne, Wayne. Very not. Totally looked at that, I'm sure, but Paula, Clarissa, and I think it's Wayne.
Good evening. I am a citizen, a veteran of the United States Air Force, and a concerned mother. This year on behalf of the VA employees, VA saved my life. This federal employee, also a veteran, assigned to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, regarding one of his friends here in Arizona, a veteran and federal employee fired from CISA, and I'd like to read this. My name is DJ, and I'm here to support our family friend Kyle, and federal employee, a federal employee, like him, who have found themselves in similar situations. Kyle is a state combat veteran, a federal employee with the perfect performance ratings, who have recently accepted a promotion. He transferred from DOGE to CISA, and 2 weeks ago, Kyle was wrongfully and unjustifiably fired after 5 years of federal employment by Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE. He was fired without cause or forewarning. His supervisor wasn't even notified that he had been fired and wasn't aware of his actions until Kyle informed him that he had received the email. Kyle has been a faithful public servant who has devoted his life to upholding the Constitution and protecting the safeties and freedoms of Americans. He should not have been on probation, and he should not have been fired. If Trump and us can do this to Kyle, who will be next? My son, like Kyle, is a veteran federal employee with 10 years service. My son recently accepted a promotion that required him to pick up his family, sell his house and vehicle, and relocate to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. He too was placed on probation because of the promotion. Fortunately, his probation ended back in October 2024. But who can guarantee that the firing won't later impact my son and others like him? Currently, my son is receiving daily harassing emails from the DOGE demanding that he resign, demanding that he respond with 5 meetings he did at work this week. And as a mother, I am tormented knowing that my son and his family have sacrificed so much by accepting the assignment on giving up, only to be subjected to relentless harassment by the government he serves. This president and his billionaire buddy are destroying careers, disrupting lives, and causing untold stress with American households. We must stand up for these federal employees. We must fight for them to be reinstated to their jobs, and we must ensure that the felon in the White House respects the laws of the land. From DOGE to healthcare to everything
set up all the protest rallies, whatever you want to call them. So I would love for us to take a picture with it. And for all the people who were there yesterday, can you please wave your hands and let them know? Yes! You put out all action and it was fun. Sorry. Okay. My name is Anna, and I am a part of Profit First, the Profit First Project. We are a non-profit organization. We have lots of names, I got a big mouth. I am Arizona, proud Latina of the Glassboro School District. I am college educated. I'm currently studying for the paralegal professional thing, so if you guys can please put it in the word for me, the bar. I'm going on the mic really loud. So I'm just going to read this. I said a lot of us are here because we are angry, and I just want to remind Republican elected officials that we will remember these unhumanitarian political organizing policies at the midterms and the primaries. A lot of us are here because we're worried for the future, for ourselves, our parents, grandparents, and families. We fear for the future and education of our children, especially those in my son's special needs. We worry about our LGBTQIA+ and trans friends as they are being targeted, harassed, and murdered. We are here today for a myriad of reasons, not just immigration and dreamers. We are here to remind people that unless you are indigenous, you are an immigrant, no matter how many generations. Socialist government programs like Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, TANF, WIC, Social Security, VA benefits, cancer research, reproductive freedom, DDT, IUPs, TDI, the Department of Education, NOAA, the state program, USIP, AIT, and women's voting rights, all being currently dismantled by Donald John Trump. And I would like to just point out that immigrants and dreamers pay taxes at a higher tax rate than Americans, collectively paying almost $100 billion a year into programs that most Americans rely on, but they are not eligible to benefit from. All of Donald Trump and sugar daddy Elon Musk pay zero in federal taxes. We are here for career civil servants and American soldiers who are being fired in mass for sitting holding strong with the oath of the Constitution and the American people. We are here for Capitol police officers and first responders who have lost confidence in the law and our justice system, who now suffer from PTSD and harassment after being attacked by violent, treasonous insurrectionists on January 6, 2023. We're here for local police who are being forcibly mandated to separate families. Their job is to serve and protect, not discriminate and deport. We are here for 92% of Black women who voted for democracy. We're here for Black and brown people who are still being targeted as criminals in America. There are literally entire television networks dedicated to white on white crime. We are here for Black and brown people who are only included in conversation when people ask to talk about us as laborers, but we are more than just our neighbors. We are doctors, we are lawyers, we are scientists, we are engineers, we are nurses, teachers, senators, Supreme Court justices, and even future presidents and presidentas. We are more than your doctors, your housekeepers, and your baby machines. In closing, I just want to take a minute to turn around right here. So in closing, I just wanted to take a minute to speak directly to that. We are all going to suffer from the consequences of this action. And I personally want to welcome you to peacefully and non-violently protest alongside of us against all of these issues, because this is bigger than one political party. This will affect us all. It took 53 days to destroy democracy. Thank you.
federal funds and accountable priorities at the federal level have created an environment of volatility and uncertainty for these organizations. For many local organizations, this means struggling to move forward with planning projects or complete projects that are already underway. This instability is compounded by the turbulent nature of administrative decisions, lawsuits, and shifting priorities, making it difficult to navigate long-term planning. This disruption affects more than just these institutions. Cultural organizations, from museums and children's centers to zoos and aquariums, are community hubs that foster engagement and education. With the increased economic instability stemming from federal actions, attendance and participation are at risk. We have seen from previous disruptions like the COVID-19 pandemic and the 2008 financial crisis that the people experience a reduction in capacity to engage with these organizations because of the uncertainty in their own financial situations. Today, it is federal policies that are creating that uncertainty. Many of the organizations I work with are located in regions highly impacted by climate disruptions, including flooding, heavy precipitation, storm events, and our overall heat. These cultural institutions are not only adapting to their own climate risk, but are essential in educating and supporting their communities and also navigating these challenges. The current federal climate of uncertainty has already started negatively affecting their ability to fulfill this role. I have experienced directly the federal firings and funding increases have threatened the stability and effectiveness of organizations that serve all of the members of our community in a variety of ways. I applaud your efforts in listening to public experiences and urge you to continue to share the real impact these federal priorities and public reasons.
This administration, under the advisement of DOGE, is determined to bring out the financially as a regulatory. But we are determined to ensure that Arizonans who contact current health centers can get the care they need when they need it. We're deeply concerned over the dismantling of the nation's Medicaid program, also known as access here in our state. If funding for Medicaid is cut, and if the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services continue to be targeted, it will be detrimental to our patients and community. Planned Parenthood their Medicaid insurance to access care like cancer screening, STI testing and treatment, contraceptives, HIV prevention treatment, and much more. According to the Center for American Progress, proposed cuts will translate to nearly $19 billion in the Medicaid healthcare in Arizona over a 9-year period. This means that our Medicaid initiative enrollment will be reduced for at least 528,000 Arizonans. Many of these are people who rely on our parent for their health care and will have nowhere else to turn. Our 7 health centers across the state primarily serve women and people with low income, Black, Latinx, and Indigenous communities, LGBTQ+ people, and others who are already facing multiple barriers to accessing care. Many of our patients have insurance from Medicaid and other federal state programs for uninsured and underinsured people. If funding Medicaid is slashed and CMS is shuttered, the lives of the most vulnerable will continue to become at risk. We're a trusted partner in the communities we serve. These federal actions are an attempt to continue breaking the healthcare system as a whole, instead of working to expand access to essential and life-saving care. By funding Medicaid along with other resources, will only continue to deny Arizonans and millions of Americans the care they need. It will lead to further reduced access to contraceptives, hospitalizing and STIs, and further exacerbate the long-term mortality rate crisis we're seeing, just to name a few things. Public officials are exposed to the health of the communities they serve, but instead, the federal government is working to deny millions of people access to essential life-saving health care. We urge you to continue
caregivers. It puts us in enormous strain on those of us remaining, forcing them to work in tougher conditions with fewer resources, all alone with their own jobs to keep the next in the line. To be on the line next. As a father of this uncertainty is frightening, I have 4 children who depend on me, not just financial stability, but for the security that every parent wants to provide. A father who loses my job, or seeing my coworkers struggle, and begging into me, is heartbreaking. We've given years, decades in many cases, of service to this country. We deserve better to be treated as disposable. We must stand together, push our these tasks. We must remind decision makers that national security is not something the cut corners of. The work we do matters, and the people behind people matter. Let's fight for our jobs, our families, and the safety of the child and the public. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Kris. I am a U.S. Army combat medic. Over my 8 years. And I've been around and I've seen enough of these budget cuts to know that there's something more serious at work here. And when I hear the Department of Government Efficiency, I wonder, where is the U.S. Congress that created this department? We have the Office of Management and Budget. We don't have it. We have a long-time oligarch who is the richest man in the world. Bernie Sanders tells us that at the president's inauguration, there were 3 of these oligarchs in attendance. Their combined wealth of these 3 people, the combined wealth of just 3 people was greater than the combined wealth of 175 million Americans. That's no democracy to me. Now you are doing a great job in the courts fighting this. There is a legal concept called quo warrantis. By whose authority? And I'm sure that it is in your hope is, I teach history, there's no future in it. But I do have a wealth of history to give us ideas for now, and I'm referring to Frederick Douglass, who in another time, at another crisis of the United States, where the Union was in jeopardy, made the following observation. It is called Frederick Douglass's social equation. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Many people will quietly submit to, and you have found the measure of the justice and wrong which will be imposed on them. And these conditions they will continue until they are resisted with either words or blows or with both. The limits of the tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. And we bring your message to Elon Musk and all the other oligarchs. Here in America, the people rule, and we may not have billions, but we are the people.
The cuts to the VA, the Veterans Crisis Line, and instructions to strike are harming our service members, veterans, and their families. I am one of the few, if not the only, provider in the entire West Valley that specializes in working with survivors of military sexual trauma. One of the only in West Valley is huge. On average, survivors I hope have gone through 7 providers before they find me. I am in network with TRICARE and have been since 2018. TRICARE has not paid providers for any services on or since January 1st of this year. They are continuing to give us the runaround with the billing, and this means that TRICARE beneficiaries for any kind of medical, physical, and mental health care cannot get services anywhere. Providers are dropping off left and right, and we cannot afford to keep our practices open. We are having some working cases potentially laying off our own employees, and I have nowhere. If I close my practice, I have nowhere to send my clients. No one else can work with them. What are they going to do? We're probably all familiar with the statistic that underestimated statistic of 22 a day. Way too many. One is too many. Many veterans are going to continue their service as federal employees, as law enforcement officers, first responders, healthcare workers, and teachers. Because of these low firings, the threat of ongoing budget cuts, RFP winners, threat of government wellness farms. On top of it, right, there's a lack of care and correcting their internal issues. That underestimated 22 a day is only going to go up. These reckless actions are literally going to cost service members and veterans their lives. For providers, it's going to impact our ability to continue to offer any kind of services, and our practices will close.
Thank you. And anyone else have comments they were down to get this meeting over you, please?
What I want to say is, we want to hear your stories, you have written testimony. I'll stay back and some of us will stay back and talk to you personally. If you want to talk to me personally, we want your written testimony. If you haven't brought it with you, please email us at aginfo@agag.gov.
It's on the flyer.
It's on the flyer, so I outside and then we can take your written testimony. So let's do
I left that office, she's the one that got some paperwork done. I was the person who helped underwrite the loans and all the grants to make sure that people in this state, in rural communities, the very people that voted for this bill, I'm the one that goes around and make sure that the kids are like, I'm the one that goes around and make sure that the money is being properly spent, and make sure that they maintain the property and the government is investing for tax dollars. I was that guy, and I was the first one I got. Now, I'm 10 years for a veteran, I'm not like, give a crap about that, because you're a veteran, you need to be protected. No. There are plenty of people, these organizations, or the federal government, or just all right, they're civil servants that are dedicated to their lives to these things. And it's huge harms that they're getting shit on right now, that's right. Absolutely right. I don't know why. Thanks to plenty of education. Y'all know you're part of me, GI Bill, off another, right? I got most of my education here, law, Thunderbirds and all of that. That's where I learned all of these things. They're going to succeed in this particular arena. They're 10 years almost in the United States Army, so they're disciplined. And with those degrees, I can easily make 6 degrees. But I didn't do that. I went back into public service. Kris, we went before because I was running all these things up because it makes sense to me. I decided that when this job was offered to me, I could have more Arizona more by taking this job than I could by just serving the people who were there. In New Mexico, I worked with your state engineer because he covers 2 states right now. Because in the last 2 years, we have hired a new engineer for your state. He covers all the USD projects in your state. And I think he just literally right before I walked out the door, which is so this is going to affect every single one of your states, especially in rural areas, which every single one of your states has. I'd like to thank you for your time. Keep fighting.
Trust that we will be that here, all over Arizona, all over this country, we have another federal like this coming up against somebody March 20th. We got another one coming up April 16th. We understand the American people that the information you supply to us is indispensable to the fight we're making in the courts, but we need to do that fight at the forefront of what we're doing and they will already.
One thing that came through for me tonight, and it's not solicited Donald Trump and Elon Musk for violating the Constitution. And they're degrading people that have committed themselves to public service. They broke the word to their people. And they given their word to farmers, to doctors, to people who are doing good, honorable, decent work in this community, all over this country. And people who Donald Trump can't find a way to do that on his own. He can drag into court.
Thank you all for staying so long. Thank you for your indispensable information. We saw taking notes. We have recorded this. This was the first Attorney General town hall. You were the first of many. And I want you to know at the end tonight, I know, we were that these AGs, all 23 of us, are working our hearts out. Are working our hearts out for the youth. And to make sure that future generations can enjoy what we have enjoyed. And I want to give you a couple of details. We meet, all 23 attorneys general meet every single day together. And we are working, our lawyers are working their hearts out day and night, sometimes throughout the night and on the weekends on these lawsuits. We are